Howdy, howdy, listeners. This is your host, Random Nerd, on the Critical Thinking Nerd podcast. This is episode 5, part 2, in the Positive Masculinity series. The core of the series is calling men up, but women are listening too. And the truth is, anger and resentment don't belong only to men. So, ladies, this one is for you. Wives, girlfriends, exes, sisters, daughters, friends, who have your own stories, your own pain, and your own battles with what happens when hurt hardens. Segment 1. Women's anger. Often hidden, often justified. Women are often taught two opposite things about anger. Nice girls don't get angry. Be sweet. Be agreeable. But also, if you're angry at men and at the system, that means you're finally awake. So a lot of women end up in one of two places: stuffing anger, smiling, saying, "It's fine," while resentment builds underground, or living in anger, bonding with others through shared bitterness, especially towards men. Some questions to think over. Growing up, were you allowed to be angry or only allowed to cry, shut down, or please? When you feel anger, does it usually come out as tears, sarcasm, withdrawal, or open fire? Segment 2. From personal hurt to global story. If you've been deeply hurt by a man or several, it makes sense that you feel anger. That's human. The danger is when personal hurt becomes a global story. All men are selfish. All men cheat eventually. Men only care about themselves, their egos, and their pleasures. Online, those stories get amplified and rewarded. Memes, reels, and friend groups can make cynicism feel like wisdom. But when you universalize your pain, you punish every man for what some men did. You train yourself to see men as threats, projects or jokes first, humans second. You may even choose men who confirm the story, because healthy ones feel unfamiliar or even boring. Some questions to think over. What is the repeated sentence in your mind about men when you're angry? What's your script? Would you want your daughter or your little sister to inherit that same script? Segment 3. Justice versus vengeance. Anger can push you toward justice or toward vengeance. Justice names real wrongs, sets boundaries, seeks repair, safety, and truth. Vengeance wants them to hurt like you hurt, even if truth gets blurred. Uses public shaming, rumors, or manipulation to get even. Feels powerful for a moment, but often leaves you emptier later. Examples of crossing that line. Dragging an ex online in ways that exaggerate or twist the truth. Using kids or access to kids to punish a man rather than protect them. Encouraging friends to break him, use him, or make him pay as entertainment or empowerment. Questions to think on. When you talk about men with your closest friends, does it sound more like a quest for truth or a hunt for emotional payback? Is there a man you've treated unjustly in your reaction to very real hurt? Here's something additional. If there is a higher power who cares about justice, he sees both the wrongs done to you and the wrongs you do in response. That can be terrifying, or freeing, depending on what you do with it. Segment 4, a healthier way to handle anger. Just like the men, you don't need to pretend you're never angry. The goal is to handle it in ways that don't poison your future. Here's some 3 practices. Name what you actually feel. Instead of men are trash, try, I feel betrayed by this specific man. You feel scared to trust again. You feel unseen, unprotected, or unvalued. Precision gives you something real to heal instead of a whole gender to hate. 2. Separate the person from the pattern. Ask, did this man do something wrong, or am I projecting others' sins onto him? Also ask, am I choosing the same type of man over and over? 3. Choose your outlet wisely. Journal. Pray if you're open to it. Talk to a healthy friend, mentor, or a therapist. Avoid making major life decisions or social media posts at peak rage. We see a lot of that. Questions to think over. Who are the 1 or 2 people you can talk to about your anger who won't just hype you up, but will help you be honest and fair? What would it look like to be honest about your pain without turning it into your full identity? Segment 5, a 7-day anger and resentment audit. Here's your version, ladies, of the challenge. Create a note titled Heart Log. For 7 days, anytime you notice anger or bitterness towards men or toward a specific man, write what happened or what you remembered, what emotion you felt under the anger. Were you hurt? Are you fearful, jealousy, shame, or loneliness? What you wanted to do in response. 3. At the end of each day, ask, was your story about this situation accurate or shaped heavily by old wounds? What would be a just response and what would be a revenge response? After a week, notice any patterns. Are there any same triggers? Same type of man? Same kind of situation? Do you see places where your pain is valid, but your conclusions about all men might be distorted? If you have any space for faith, you might add one more question. If God could speak into this one situation, what might he challenge? And what might he comfort in you? You're not required to believe that, but even considering it can open a window. In closing, this is episode 5, part 2, anger, resentment from the ladies' side. Not to blame you, not to excuse real harm done to you, but to ask, what happens to your heart if you stay angry forever? This series is about men, but healthy partnership needs healed, truthful women too. Women who can tell the difference between justice and vengeance, between wisdom and bitterness. As we keep moving through this year, talking about identity, virtue, design, family, faith, the invitation for both men and women is the same. Feel what you feel. Tell the truth about it. Then choose not to let that feeling own you. Until next time, stay reflective, stay grounded, and ask yourself, is your anger helping you build the future you want, or only helping you relive the past you hate? For truth, transparency, and fairness. If you found this episode meaningful, please continue to listen to my next episode as I dive deeper and research further to share my knowledge with you. Thank you.